You've been lied to. Not maliciously, not intentionally, but lied to nonetheless. You were told, work hard, save your money, live below your means, build a rainy day fund, stay disciplined, and eventually you'll get ahead. That advice worked for your grandparents. It worked for your parents. But for you, it's a trap. I'm going to show you something uncomfortable. Saving money is not enough to get ahead anymore. If saving is your primary wealth strategy in 2026, you're not building wealth. You're treading water while inflation drowns you. The rules changed, and nobody told you. My name is Alex Rivera, and I spent 5 years as a financial analyst watching people do everything right and still fall behind. I watched disciplined savers work for 30 years and retire broke. I watched frugal, hardworking people sacrifice everything, only to end up with less purchasing power than when they started. This isn't about blaming you. This isn't about motivation or mindset. This is about math. Cold, brutal, undeniable math. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you why the old rules stopped working and when. What actually builds wealth in 2026. The 3 things that matter more than saving. If you've been saving diligently and wondering why you're not getting ahead, this is for you. If you've been following the rules and feeling like you're running on a treadmill, this is for you. Let's go. Part 1. Why the old rules worked and why they don't anymore. Let me show you what wealth building looked like when your grandparents were your age. The old system, 1950 to 1990. The deal was simple. Get a stable job. Save 10 to 15% of your income. Put it in a savings account earning 5 to 7% interest. Buy a house, 3-4x your annual salary. Work for 30 years. Retire with a pension. Your savings plus pension plus paid off house equals comfortable retirement. This actually worked because interest rates were high. Savings accounts, 5 to 7% annual interest. CDs, 8 to 12% returns. Your money literally grew faster than inflation just sitting in a bank. Housing was affordable. 1970. Median house price equals $23,000. Median income equals $9,870. 2.3x ratio. 1980. Median house price equals $64,000. Median income equals $21,020. 3x ratio. 1990. Median house price equals $123,000. Median income equals $35,353. 3.5x ratio. Wages kept pace with productivity. If you worked harder, you earned more. Raises were real, 3 to 5% annually after inflation. Loyalty was rewarded with promotions. Pensions existed. Your company funded your retirement. Work 30 years equals guaranteed income for life. You didn't need to save millions because your employer had you covered. Low competition. Fewer people competing for jobs, houses, and opportunities. College-educated workers were rare, 10% of population. Geographic mobility was limited. You competed locally, not globally. What changed? 1990 to 2026. Let me show you what broke. 1. Interest rates collapsed. 1990 savings account, 5 to 6%. 2026 savings account, 0.5 to 4.5%. Even at 4.5%, after taxes and inflation, your real return is often negative. 2. Housing became unaffordable. 2026. Median house price equals $420,000. Median income equals $75,000. 5.6x ratio. It now takes twice as many years of income to buy the same house. 3. Wages decoupled from productivity. Productivity increased 65% since 1979. Wages increased only 17%. You work harder but earn less, relatively. 4. Pensions disappeared. 1980, 60% of workers had pensions. 2026, 15% of workers have pensions. You're now responsible for funding your own retirement. 5. Education became mandatory and expensive. 1980, college optional cost $3,000 per year. 2026, college required cost $30,000 plus per year. Student debt, $1.7 trillion nationally, averaged $37,000 per borrower. 6. Everything else got more expensive. Healthcare, up 150% after inflation since 1990. Childcare, up 214% since 1990. Education, up 180% since 1990. The old formula assumed high interest on savings doesn't exist. Affordable housing doesn't exist. Wage growth doesn't exist. Pensions don't exist. Low cost of living doesn't exist. Every single assumption is broken. The math that doesn't work. Let me show you exactly how broken it is. Meet Sarah, following the old rules in 2026. Age 28. Salary, $65,000 per year. Takes home, $48,000 per year after tax. Savings rate, 15%. Experts recommend 10 to 15%. Annual savings, $7,200. Savings account at 4% interest. After 30 years. Total saved, $216,000. Her contributions. With compound interest, $406,000. Sounds great, right? Now add inflation at 3% annually. $406,000 in 30 years equals $167,000 in today's purchasing power. She worked for 30 years and has the equivalent of 2.5 years of her current salary. Meanwhile, housing. Today's $420,000 house. In 30 years at 3% appreciation, $1,019,000. She has $406,000 saved. She's $613,000 short of buying the same house she could almost afford today. In retirement, she needs $50,000 per year to maintain her lifestyle, inflation adjusted. $406,000 divided by $50,000 equals 8 years of retirement funding. She'll live 20 plus years in retirement. She's $600,000 plus short. Sarah did everything right. Saved 15% for 30 years. She's not even close to getting ahead. This isn't a Sarah problem. This is a system problem. Part 2, the inflation tax, the silent wealth killer. Let me show you the real enemy, inflation. Most people think inflation is when prices go up. That's true but incomplete. Inflation is a transfer of wealth from savers to asset owners. How inflation destroys savings. Example, you have $100,000 in savings. At 3% inflation. Year 1, worth $97,000 in purchasing power. Year 5, worth $86,000. Year 10, worth $74,000. Year 20, worth $55,000. Year 30, worth $41,000. You didn't spend a dollar. You just got 59% poorer by holding cash. But my savings account earns 4% interest. Let's run the real math. Interest earned, 4%. Taxes on interest, 25% bracket minus 1%. Net after-tax return, 3%. Inflation, minus 3%. Real return, 0%. You're running in place. How inflation rewards asset owners. Meanwhile, people who own assets get richer automatically. Example, you own a $400,000 house. At 3% appreciation. Year 1, worth $412,000, gain $12,000. Year 5, worth $464,000, gain $64,000. Year 10, worth $538,000, gained $138,000. Year 20, worth $722,000, gained $322,000. Year 30, worth $971,000, gained $571,000. You did nothing. Your house gained $571,000 while you slept. The person saving cash lost 59% of their purchasing power. The person owning the house gained 143% wealth. This is the inflation tax. Savers get destroyed. Asset owners get rich. How inflation rewards asset owners. Meanwhile, people who own assets get richer automatically. Example, you own a $400,000 house. At 3% appreciation. Year 1, worth $412,000, gained $12,000. Year 5, worth $464,000, gained $64,000. Year 10, worth $538,000, gained $138,000. Year 20, worth $722,000, gained $322,000. Year 30, worth $971,000, gained $571,000. You did nothing. Your house gained $571,000 while you slept. The person saving cash lost 59% of their purchasing power. The person owning the house gained 143% wealth. This is the inflation tax. Savers get destroyed. Asset owners get rich. The 2020 to 2026 acceleration. It got worse recently. From 2020 to 2023, the government printed $5 trillion, stimulus, COVID relief, infrastructure spending. What happened? Money supply increased 40%. Your savings lost 40% of relative value. Asset prices exploded, stocks up 60%, real estate up 30 to 40%, crypto up 300% plus. If you were saving, you got 40% poorer. If you owned assets, you got 50 to 100% richer. The gap between savers and asset owners widened more in 3 years than in the previous 30 years combined. This isn't conspiracy. It's monetary policy. And it's accelerating. Part 3. What actually builds wealth in 2026? Okay. If saving doesn't work, what does? Let me show you the 3 things that actually matter. 1. Ownership, not savings. Wealth isn't built by saving money. It's built by owning things that increase in value. The hierarchy of ownership. Tier 1. Own productive assets best. Businesses, yours or others via stocks. Real estate that generates income. Intellectual property, patents, royalties, content. Tier 2. Own appreciating assets good. Index funds, own pieces of 500 companies. Real estate, even if just your primary home. Commodities, gold, silver. Tier 3. Own depreciating assets neutral. Your car, loses value but necessary. Electronics, furniture, loses value but needed. Tier 4. Hold cash, losing. Savings accounts, checking accounts, cash under mattress. Every dollar in Tier 4 is slowly dying. Every dollar in Tier 1 to 2 is working for you. 2. Income growth, not discipline. Saving 15% of $50,000 equals $7,500 per year. Saving 15% of $150,000 equals $22,500 per year. Same discipline. 3x the wealth accumulation. The obsession with frugality is a trap. Cutting your $5 coffee saves $1,825 per year. Increasing your income by $20,000 per year saves $20,000 per year. The math is obvious, but people focus on the wrong lever. How to increase income. Switch jobs every 2 to 3 years, 15 to 20% raises versus 3% staying put. Negotiate aggressively. Most people leave $10,000 to $50,000 on the table. Build skills that pay: AI, data, sales, specialized trades. Start a side business. Even $1,000 per month equals $12,000 per year extra. Move to higher paying markets. Same job in SF pays 40% more than in Ohio. Discipline without income growth is just comfortable poverty. 3. Leverage, not linear effort. Wealthy people don't trade time for money linearly. They use leverage. Financial leverage. Mortgages, control $400,000 house with $80,000 down. Business loans, start $1 million revenue business with $50,000. Margin, legally borrow against investments. Labor leverage. Hire people, their work generates profit for you. Automate, software works 24/7 without pay. Outsource, pay $5 per hour overseas versus $25 per hour locally. Knowledge leverage. Patents and IP, one idea, infinite reproduction. Content, one video, millions of views. Code, write once, sell forever. Linear thinking. I work 40 hours, I make $X. Leverage thinking. I deploy $Y, which generates $Z regardless of my hours. The poor save money. The middle class save money and invest. The wealthy use leverage to multiply everything. Part 4. The actual formula that works. Let me give you the formula that actually builds wealth in 2026. The 50/30/20 rule, updated for reality. Forget the old 50/30/20 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. That doesn't work anymore. Here's the 2026 version. 50% survival, fixed costs. Rent/mortgage, utilities, food, insurance, transportation. Non-negotiable baseline existence. If this exceeds 50%, you need to either increase income or decrease costs. 30% ownership, asset acquisition. Not savings accounts. Index funds, real estate down payments, business investments. This is where wealth is built. This money buys assets that grow. 10% income growth. Invest in yourself. Skills training, certifications, courses. Networking events, conferences. Health and fitness. Can't earn if you're sick. This is the multiplier on everything else. 10% liquidity, emergency fund. 3 to 6 months expenses and high-yield savings. Once you hit this target, stop adding here. This is insurance, not wealth building. The wealth building timeline. Phase 1, years 1 to 3, build the foundation. Emergency fund. 6 months expenses, $15,000 to $30,000. No high-interest debt. Start investing 10 to 15% in index funds. Focus on income growth, skills, job switches. Phase 2, years 4 to 7, acquire your first major asset. Buy primary residence, even if small. Start a side business. Max out retirement accounts, $23,000 per year in 401k plus $7,000 in IRA. Increase income by 50 to 100% from year 1. Phase 3, years 8 to 15, leverage and scale. Buy rental property or second business. Invest 30 to 40% of income. Hire people or automate income sources. Income 3-5x from year 1. Phase 4, years 15 plus, compound and maintain. Assets generate meaningful passive income. Continue investing but less active hustle required. Compound interest starts doing heavy lifting. Financial independence becomes realistic. Real example, 2 paths. Person A, traditional saver. Age 25 to 55, 30 years. Saves 15% of $60,000 salary equals $9,000 per year. Keeps in savings account at 4% interest. Total at 55, $520,000. After inflation, $214,000 purchasing power. Still needs to work. Person B, asset builder. Age 25 to 55, 30 years. Year 1 to 3, saves emergency fund, $20,000, invests $5,000 per year in index funds. Year 4, buys $250,000 house, 5% down equals $12,500, lives in it. Year 5 to 10, house appreciates to $350,000, invests $8K 12K/year in index funds. Year 11, buys $200,000 rental property, 20% down equals $40,000 from Helic on primary home. Year 12 to 20, rental pays for itself plus $300 per month profit, keeps investing $15,000 per year. Year 21, starts side business, grows to $50,000 per year profit. Year 22 to 30, side business grows to $150,000 per year profit, keeps investing. Age 55, net worth. Primary home, $650,000 paid off or nearly. Rental property, $400,000, tenant paid mortgage. Index funds, $850,000 from consistent investing plus compound growth. Business, $150,000 per year income stream, sellable for $500,000 to $1 million. Total net worth, $2.4 million to $2.9 million. Person A saved diligently for 30 years, $214,000. Person B owned assets and built income, $2.4 million plus. Same 30 years. 10x difference. The difference isn't discipline, it's strategy. Part 5, the uncomfortable truth. Here's what I need you to understand. Saving money is not a wealth building strategy. It's a wealth preservation strategy. And you can't preserve what you haven't built yet. The old advice, just save and be patient, worked when interest rates were 7%. Housing was 3x income. Pensions existed. Wages grew with inflation. None of those are true anymore. If you're 25 to 40 years old in 2026 and your primary financial strategy is saving money in a bank account, you are guaranteed to fall behind. Not because you're undisciplined. Not because you're not working hard enough. Because the math doesn't work. What this means for you. You have 2 choices. Choice 1, keep following the old rules. Save 10 to 15% diligently. Keep it in savings accounts. Work for 30 to 40 years. Hope it's enough. It won't be. Retire broke or keep working into your 70s. Choice 2, follow the new rules. Build emergency fund, 3 to 6 months. Invest everything else in assets. Focus on income growth. Use leverage strategically. Own things that appreciate. Retire with real wealth. The old way feels safe. It's not. It's slow financial suicide. The new way feels risky. It's not. It's the only path that actually works. Final thoughts. I'm not saying don't save. You need an emergency fund. You need liquidity for opportunities. But if your financial strategy is save as much as possible and hope for the best, you're playing a game you can't win. The system changed. Inflation is a permanent feature. Asset prices will keep rising. The gap between savers and owners will keep widening. You can't save your way to wealth anymore. You have to own your way to wealth. Start today. Not tomorrow. Not when you have more money. Open a brokerage account. Buy your first index fund. Start learning about real estate. Build a skill that increases your income. Do anything except let your money sit in a savings account slowly dying. Because hard work and discipline aren't enough. They never were. They're just the baseline. What actually matters is what you do with the money you save. And if the answer is keep it in cash, you've already lost. Now go build something that grows.